to Laurie Hernandez. Oh, you can do better than that. Give her a big cheer. Hi, Laurie. Come on over. God bless you. You can sit over here.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. Thank you.
She is beautiful and awesome and funny.
Thank you.
It's good to have you here. You're in beautiful Covina. We can't believe you are here. This is so amazing. We have an Olympic gold medalist. Now, I have to ask you, so if you're a gold medalist, like, do you mention the silver anymore? Is like that, like, gold eclipses silver? You're like, you know, I'm a gold medalist? Or
I mean, they both mean so much to me. So,
so what was that like to stand on a podium and they put that around your neck and then they play the national anthem? Like,
it was amazing. I mean, it was cool because for our team competition, that was where we won the gold, we all stood on the podium and just kind of looked at each other like, guys, we did it. Like, look at us, we're doing it. And then it was amazing to see like the flag raised up and they played our national anthem, and it was so beautiful. It's something I'm going to remember forever. So.
Yeah. And then now you had just turned 16. You're 16.
Yeah.
I was like trying to figure out way more basic things about life when I was 16. Like you won the Olympics and now you've won the mirror ball. Which, by the way, you said you were going to do. I know, you were like, right in the first time you're like meeting Val, you're like, I want to win the mirror ball. And he's like, oh, well.
I was like, what? I was like, girl, we got this, right?
Of course you do.
Thank you.
But you did, girl. So I think you're like a prophet. You just say what you want to do and then it comes true, huh?
Thank you.
Yeah, that was amazing. So, so winning the mirror ball, like what? Talk about what that was like. Even I mean, at the very start, you're teamed up with Val. It seemed like you guys had this great connection.
Yeah. Well, for the 11 weeks that we were on the show, I was also on a gymnastics tour, so he had to travel along with me so we could make sure we were practicing enough.
Wow.
But yeah, I mean, through traveling, we were able to get a good connection and talk to each other. And I mean, he definitely had that big brother role because I always had him hold like my boarding pass and everything. So he had to take care of me in that sense. But yeah, I mean, we got so close, and it's nice. I mean, my mom already calls him like a son to us. So
yeah, that's right. You could see that in the program from what we can see. Like it seemed like he was a big brother to you and protective of you. And so now I want to ask you a question. I don't think it came out in the program, but at one point I thought I saw like you guys bowing your heads and like did you and Val pray like before you performed?
We did. We actually prayed before our packages
started.
That
is so cool. That's awesome. See, they don't show that.
They don't show that.
They don't
but
show that.
I do have a picture of it. There was one week where actually my grandma had passed away and I still had to dance. So before that, I was kind of standing there like a little nervous because, it was pretty, not soon after, but a couple days after, and I looked at him and I was like, I'm a little scared, He just grabbed my hand and pulled me to the back in the corner, and we sat there and we prayed through the whole package until it was over, so. Yeah.
Now, I saw that dance, and there was a point where I saw you do this. Were you actually crying while you were performing that dance?
Yeah, that dance was very heartfelt, so even though I was dancing and performing in front of an audience and in front of, like live television, I still felt like that pressure and that presence during that. So that was kind of a rough dance, but at the same time it was nice to be able to go and let it out through dancing.
Yeah. So did you get nervous before every dance?
Absolutely.
Do you get nervous before every gymnastics routine? Like,
especially the Olympics. I mean, that was so like walking into a competition, something that I do to ground myself would be to look around and to spot different things. So it would be like, okay, the floor is green, the balance beam is brown, and that would take my mind off of the pressure. But the problem with the Olympics was everywhere I looked, it said Rio 2016 everywhere, so I couldn't get away from it.
Oh, that's really cool. So right now you're going, Pastor Lee's hair is great, the chair
no,
is broken. So that was really the Olympics. What struck me is it seems like the music and stuff is so quiet. It seems like the whole room is quiet while you're doing that. Is that nerve-wracking? Like,
Yeah, definitely. I mean, especially before the individual bounce beam finals.
Yeah.
This was a couple days after our team finals where we won gold, and that was mind-blowing. So I was like, okay, we have one more competition at the Olympics. It's my last chance to really go out there and prove myself. And I remember just pacing back and forth, and I was like, I'm so nervous. Like, this is really scary. And then I remembered, like, even when I was little, my mom would have me pray before competition. So then I started praying before I got there, and it was just a ritual that I always did before I competed. And so that really helped calm things down for me, and I was able to, like, go up there and focus.
That is so great to hear you say that. I mean, how many young people, you know? Here's a woman of prayer, a young lady of prayer who says, I pray before I go out there and compete. And I mean, in football, I'm not sure how God handles that, you know, when both teams are praying. But for like an individual performance, you're like, were there other people praying that they would win the mirror ball?
I'm not really sure, but I mean, when Val and I were praying, we weren't praying, you know, just to win the mirror ball. We were praying that we were able to go out there and use the abilities that God gave us to dance. So we were hoping that that could just go out and shine through to show others.
So it wasn't like, oh God, let them lose, horrible, and let us win. It was, let us do good. Okay, yeah. That's a good prayer. So, I hope you don't mind me asking this. So, like, the other thing I thought was so funny was then they're like, they had some dances. They go, well, all right, so Laurie, this dance is, you know, steamy. This is more like sexy, you know, and you were like...
Well, that definitely scared me, but we prayed before that dance, too.
Oh, Lord, help us be sexy.
No, it was more like... Ooh. But it's funny you mentioned that, because I actually went to my mom for that, and I was like, Mom, this dance is very different. It's not something that I would usually go out and do. And she said, well, you have the opportunity to go out, and basically it was the Chicago musical. We had the opportunity to recreate it. And she said, go out there, and, you know, you have a gift to be able to dance. You can use it for today, just don't do it all the time that. Yeah. But, yeah, I mean, it was interesting, and it was out of my comfort zone, but I'm glad that I did it, because it was cool to be able to act.
Now, I saw somebody asked you how you prepared, you know, you gave a look that was real, you know, like you were in your steamy side kind of thing, and they asked you how you thought of that, and you said, sniffing a quesadilla or smelling a quesadilla. So what was that look? It was like, yeah, that. That is awesome.
I mean, that was interesting, because I'm still so young, so dancing like that, it's a little uncomfortable, so I like to find different ways, so it's different for me at least.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I thought you did amazing. It seemed like you do this, I am Laurie. You know?
I mean, it's definitely something that I have to focus for, because naturally it's very easy for me to smile and giggle, so that was kind of a hard dance.
Yeah. So did you grow up in a Christian home, and you kind of grew up going to church and stuff?
Yeah, I did. I mean, my family's a Christian family, so basically every Sunday we would go to church as a family, but a lot of times...
Every Sunday, you hear that? Every Sunday.
As much as we could. I mean, for gymnastics, every month I had to travel to Texas, and so even though I wasn't with my family every Sunday of the month, they would still go, and my mom would text me Bible verses and be like, oh, hey, this is what we learned today, cool. Even though I wasn't able to go, so.
Wow, that's really cool. Yeah. So, Dancing with the Stars, I'm kind of hopping around a little bit. Mm-hmm. Okay. It seems like it's a big family. Is that true? Like they're very close to each other and protect each other and encourage each other?
Definitely. I mean, the first week I got there, I thought it would kind of be just, oh, we're going to go out there, we're going to dance, and then we're going to learn our dance for the next week, and then we're going to go out and dance and learn our dance for the next week. And I realized that every single week I was really bonding with everyone else. And at the end of the season, we all got reunited, and it was kind of melancholy to have to leave everyone, because we became so close. So, yeah, I think we'll still stay in touch even though the season is over.
Yeah. Is there a particular 2 or 3 people that, like, you really got to know, and they're like, oh, they're such good friends?
Well, I mean, there was Jana Kramer. She's a country singer.
Yeah.
We got pretty close, so she's such a sweetheart, and everyone is very sweet. So it was really nice to be able to get to know other people.
Yeah. And she's been through a trauma in her life and stuff, so
so
it seemed like there's a healing that happened through that show.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's really cool. So, And was it strange? There's a week where you switched partners, like you didn't have Val. Was that different?
Well, it wasn't too different. It was fine. I mean, I don't think we switched too often, but like there are some days where if we have team dances, we have to
Team
switch.
dance, yeah.
So having to do that is kind of interesting. But at the same time, Val was still in the dance with us, so it wasn't too bad.
So you're going on tour now.
Yay!
You win Dancing with the Stars. Now you're going to be on the Dancing with the Stars tour.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
That's
50 cities, I heard.
About 50.
Wow. And we were just talking backstage that this is an incredible miracle that you're here this morning. Like, this is almost the only time you could have been here.
Exactly. I mean,
That's
when
crazy.
we heard that we would be able to come here, it was like the perfect slot in between the schedule. So it's awesome to be here. Thank you for having me.
Oh, we're so excited that you came. How do you do school? Like, you haven't graduated from high school yet, right?
Not yet. So
Wow.
I homeschool. I've been homeschooling since 3rd grade.
Cool.
Homeschool, yeah. But yeah, I mean, it was something that I had done at a very young age just to kind of tailor my schedule around gymnastics. So that was kind of all I really ever knew, and I still homeschool to this day, and I feel like education is really important, so we always find time to fit it into my schedule.
That's awesome. So what in the world is Laurie Hernandez going to do now? Like, what's ahead? Like, what's your dream? You got an Olympic gold medal, you won Dancing with the Stars. Like, do you want to be vice president someday, or like, what's next? I mean, that should be by 20, right?
Well, I mean, I'm not exactly sure yet. I'm kind of just going with the flow, but at the same time, I want to make sure that I'm exploring different parts, maybe whether it's acting, dancing, gymnastics, and I don't want to limit myself. And I feel like this year I've really branched out of my comfort zone, and I like it. So I'd like to just explore new stuff.
Speaking, you're a very good speaker
Oh,
too.
thank you.
Yeah, you're very talented. You could do that. We want to bring this to a close, but one of the things that I noticed was you're very bold about stating your faith and your convictions, and you're not shy about that.
Not at all.
And then you also are so good at being approachable. Even today, as I watched you walk around greeting people, like you seem like a regular person.
Thank you.
So, what would you say to people about letting their light shine? Like being open about their faith. Like, what's made you be that way?
I think it would just be the fact that as a kid, my mom had always encouraged me not to be afraid of anything. And I would say, like, Mom, I'm scared of this gymnastics competition. Like, I'm scared of how I'm going to do. She would be like, don't be afraid. Like, God already knows what you're going to do. He has a plan for you. So don't worry about it. Let him worry about it.
Oh,
And
that's
so
cool.
her saying that kind of transferred into my head, like, oh, well, I shouldn't be afraid of my faith either. So that's why I'm kind of open to just letting it pour out.
Sounds like your mom's pretty awesome.
I like my mom.
You like your mom? That's
Yeah.
good. I like her too. I've never met her. How did you get 1.6 million Instagram followers? Wow. 1.6 million people want to see every picture you post.
I really don't know how that happened.
That's good.
I think over the Olympics, that's when it's
It really started going.
pile up.
Yeah.
But I just remember like opening Instagram and having like 5 followers, and it was probably just like my brother and other family members.
Yeah.
And now it's just so many people see what I put out there. So also that's different ways that I like to put out the word too. So I know you mentioned before in my bio for Instagram and Twitter, I have God first, and it's nice to kind of state that before anybody sees anything else.
That's really cool. We admire you for that. Okay, 2 questions. One, so you're a celebrity now. You are. Is there somebody you've got to meet because of your exposure on both those things, the Olympics and Dancing with the Stars? Give me 3 people you've got to meet where you're like, oh, I can't believe I met them.
3
That was
people.
amazing.
Okay, so the first one would be Tori Kelly. She
Tori
just came out
Kelly.
with her Sing movie that's with Jennifer Hudson, Matthew McConaughey, and all these other amazing actors, and I had the opportunity of meeting her a few times. So she's also someone who believes, and it's
Yeah,
nice
she's a
to
believer.
meet one of my role models. Also, I had the ability to meet and hug Beyonce, which is wonderful.
You hugged Beyonce. Oh.
I hugged Beyonce.
You have that shirt hanging in your closet, do not wash.
Absolutely. So, yeah, that, and, actually, I also met Reese Witherspoon, which was pretty cool.
Reese
So,
Witherspoon,
yeah, she's so nice.
And so that was your top three. You didn't mention President Obama, but that
Oh
was
my
probably a
goodness,
big
no.
one. Yeah, I'm just guessing.
Well,
You're like Pastor Lee, jerk.
no. No, well, I did meet Obama and the First Lady, and they were such nice and humble people. So it was great to be able to meet them. I mean, my dad called me. He was like, "How was it?" That must have been so amazing, and it really was. They're very tall. So.
They're very tall.
Yeah, at least to me. I'm very short. So.
Yeah, yeah. Well, Laurie, thank you for being here. It's just amazing that you took the time to be here, and I wanted to ask you, we talked about this a little bit before, that we want to give people an opportunity to accept Christ this morning. And maybe you could just briefly say how important that is to you.
Well, I do think it's very important, just because as a gymnast, you can't plan so much ahead. I mean, anything can happen, whether it's an injury, competitions, making your routine, not making the routine. I mean, you can't plan out any of that stuff. So it was, I wouldn't say easy, but it helped a lot to be guided in that way. And my mom would always reinforce, like, okay, don't forget to pray, don't forget to do, you know.
Yeah.
And I feel like that really helped me and helped me grow as a person. So I feel like that was why I was able to come up so far for gymnastics.
Yeah. And, you know, it's the thing about athletes and even celebrity things that you're doing is like the travel. The travel,
yeah.
So that, you know, that poor soccer team, you know, get on a plane and they crash,
Yeah.
you know. So, like, we just never know.
You never know.
The
That's
Lord,
why,
the
yeah.
Bible says the Lord numbers our days, so we don't know. Yeah.